Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts, is being brought to you by Daco, the original power in motion. Dustless blasting, it's the future of surface preparation. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. And by Advance Auto Parts, let's get you back on the road.
Well, welcome back to Tech Garage, presented by Advance Auto Parts. Brian's working hard on the quick strut assembly. Now, what is the quick strut assembly? It's the whole deal right here. And this is nice because you're getting the spring instead of just the strut. Also, it controls ride height, so that's important as well. A new rotator plate, the whole 9 yards. This is nice, but there's an important piece of this right here, and it's right here. It says, don't remove that top nut. Please, don't remove that top nut. This spring here is under immense amount of compression, and this thing could do some serious damage. So you're gonna have to get a professional machine, and we got one right here with our Brannick spring compressor. Now, what I did is I just took the strut that Brian took out, I went ahead and I put it in the machine here, secured it so it's safe, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna come down and take the tension off. So as I crank it down once or twice, I pull that tension off. You can actually see right here, the strut come loose. That tells me it's safe now, that it's, go ahead, I can take that nut off. So I'm gonna take this clamp down, and I'm just gonna put it on so the strut doesn't drop down and hit the ground. Then I can come over and I can take the securing nut off at this point, and I know I'm in a safe position. Once I get that off, I can go ahead and release the actual spring on the bottom. Remember the rotator plate right there, everything's gonna stay intact, we talked about earlier. And then the strut assembly just comes right out here through the bottom. I'm going to take the boot and everything with it, bring it down gently, and you can see it right here. This is the actual old strut assembly. There's a few pieces on there we have to switch over. Stuff like the top washer that's on there and the dust boot. I'll pull that off, I'll set that aside, we're going to reuse it. Now we're just going to reverse the procedure. I'm going to get the insulator off of this one here. I'm going to put it down here so the spring doesn't rattle, index it right. Then I'm going to put the bumper on. Once I put the bumper on, I can go ahead and secure that with the washer right here. And then we can go ahead and put the dust boot on. Once I get that on, I got my top washer. Now it's just as simple as go ahead and put it back in the strut compressor, torque that top nut to specifications. Once you do that, you can release the tension and put it on your car. But you know what? Brian's doing it the easy way. He's got the quick strut assembly. Working hard, but doing it the easy way. Let's see how it's coming along.
Well, I like to call it working smart, John. There's more than a couple reasons we wanted to use the Monroe Quick Struts on our Accord. This car has over 160,000 miles on it, and I know the factory springs are sagging, not to mention the wear on the struts. Second, practicality and safety. Not everybody has a fancy compression tool like that in their driveway or in their garage, and frankly, these projects late at night on the weekend, they can go bad. So I like to get all the safety I possibly can. And third, my time is worth something. If you think about the amount of time I didn't spend transferring the old springs to the new struts, that's afforded me the time to do all four corners of the vehicle, truly reestablishing that factory ride height. And of course, one final reminder here, proper torque specs on the bottom. There's a wishbone mount down there. We've got them torqued properly. The wheel is torqued properly. We want that true relationship going down the road. And I've torqued the top mounting bolts once. I'm going to do it a second time now that the suspension is loaded back up. Calls for 37 pounds. Pretty easy to do. We got the other two. There we go. So we're in good shape. And a final reminder, the most important next step, a professional alignment. Here's why.
Now, no matter any time you do any suspension work, steering work, or definitely with struts, you're going to have to get an alignment. You have to take it down and get it professionally done. Now, why? Well, we're talking a couple of angles here. Caster is the forward and rearward tilt of that steering axis, and that's controlled by those top bolts Brian took out. You want to index them, mark them, make sure they're at least close. Another one is camber. You're actually going to have positive camber where the wheel's tilting out like this, and then there's negative camber where it's tilting in. Brian's trying to get it to 0 right there, and when he tightens the bolts. And the car's hanging, so it could be hanging this way or that way. Get it normal, tighten it up, and you still have to take it to an alignment shop. Well, we finished up with our Honda. Let's go give it a jounce test and see how the struts fared.
John, I think I did some good work, buddy.
I think you did too. Well, you remember earlier when we actually jounce test the car? Man, it was bouncing like a baby buggy. You can see the struts were totally worn out, 4 or 5 rebounds. Now, your honors, buddy, you did the work. Check this out. Man, there's nothing to that. One up and down. Not only getting safety, you're getting stability. We got this one wrapped up.
Big difference.
Now, stay with us for the RSX Resurrection Project. We're gonna pull it in. You know, we got struts, we got some lowering springs, and some sway bars. Man, we're gonna put that thing in the weeds. You don't wanna miss it. We'll be right back with more Tech Garage presented by Advance Auto Parts.